Comrades, I am Admiral Andre and welcome back to Realpolitiks with the USA. We are approaching the end of Donald Trump's second term. I had to think about this again before starting the recording, because the election was in 2016 and then he became president at the start of 17. So the next election will be at the end of 2020, and then the second term will start, if he is re-elected, will be 2021. So 2024, roughly around that time, the next election will take place, and then 2025, the next president is coming in, early in January. So it still is Donald Trump's era. Now, that's of course if I did that calculation correctly there. Now, let's just have a think about this whole situation here. It seems awfully quiet with the USA, given the comparison with Turkey again, because we only have the research going here. But that's a good place to start. So let's have a look at that. The export infrastructure will be done in 6 days, because we do have a lot of excess natural resources, of course, that we want to sell to the rest of the world. Protectionist agricultural market will still take another year plus, so this will be beyond Donald Trump's reach, but I suppose this is his legacy, as we have seen now. Actually, since this Let's Play started, and I know it's been a while since the last episode, there's of course been the whole new tariffs against China and other places as well, and the risk of a trade war and all of that, so this has come true. Now let's think again, what is our real mission here? It's very important to just remind myself of that. Keep Palestine and Israel independent, check, and destroy Mashriq before the start of 2033. Now that is not check. The issue here is, again, democracy is a wonderful thing in the real world, but not in real politics, because here it actually hamstrings us, because we can't just attack whoever we like, as we have found out previously. Now, in the UN, we've tried to get the approval of the other Security Council members here for us to attack Mashriq, but they turned it down. And I think the real task that we have to set ourselves now is a diplomatic offensive. I think that's what I'll call this episode as well. Because to get the vote through the UN, we have to get the support of the various countries, or at least the majority of them, in the Security Council. And there's my phone buzzing because its battery is low. Never mind that. So, if we have a look here, we don't need all of their support. So, actually, what we need to do now is just have a look. We can forget Russia, probably. So, this first part of the episode is just going to be looking at the stats in terms of our relations. I hope this will work out, otherwise we will run out of time possibly. So Canada, of course, is a member here, yes, and Canada likes us. I wish I could make a little check mark there. We should probably start from the bottom here. So South Korea, let's have a look. South Korea does not like us, so let's do something about that. We have money and we have action points. So we want to improve relations with them relatively cheaply, and I'm also going to try, can we actually help them? No, because of the problem with the Human Development Index. That's a problem. We'll just have to keep trying to improve relations. So that's South Korea taken care of, at least the first step. So Canada likes us. What about Italy? Just select the US. Italy kind of does like us, 70. But we can always improve that. Let's improve all of them anyway. So implement and move to the next one. Russia hates us. I'm not going to waste money on them, as we saw now. Russia is clearly still a player hater here, even though Donald Trump has said many nice things about their leader. So let's see what's the next one. UN, India. So what does India think? Oh, India does not like us. There has of course been this whole long-standing war between Pakistan and India, in which Pakistan created these war crimes by wiping out 100 million people in India. But they did not want our help there. We can't even improve relations any further. We might give India a pass then. France. What about France? France kind of likes us. And of course they just took part in the attacks on Syria as well. We'll have to come back to them, unfortunately. Brazil and the UK. So Brazil is not a friend of the US. I'm not sure if this will help. We've tried this, I see, already. Did not really work. What about the UK? Also tried that. Good grief, we've been down this road before, comrades. Germany and Japan. Germany kind of does like us already, although it's more middling, I suppose. Also tried that one. And Japan, probably the same story. No, we haven't. Okay, try that one. Fill up all the gaps here. The last two are, of course, us and China, I think. Yes, of course we can't. We love ourselves already. And China does not. So let's try anyway. Oh, we've done that already. It's a pity we can't help them because our HDI is not going to be able to sustain that. If we just have a look at the economy again. To maintain our service economy, we do need 60. So we could probably help one country, but that's not going to make much of a difference. We'll just have to keep up with the diplomatic offensive. Once the export infrastructure is done, I want to research diplomacy. Stabilization mission. Should we send a stabilization mission to help peacefully resolve conflicts in other countries, namely Russia? Of course we will. If they'll allow it, of course, which they never would in the real world. But if they will here, that's awesome. Extra score, money, of course, action points, that's fine. So let's finish this. That might help them to like us more too. Alright, projects. I want diplomacy. Let's just have a look. Ad hoc, is there anything that can help us here? Diplomatic offensive, but we don't have embassies yet. Can you believe it? I guess Donald Trump really did ruin a lot of relationships. Well, comrades, we're going to have to fix that. First of all, embassies. Don't care what the cost is. Do it. Do it. And move on. Even though this is still Donald Trump's presidency. Maybe it's like the whole TPP thing, where he said now he wants back in. Or at least he thought about it on Twitter. There's some unhappiness in Green Bay again. The only thing that reminds me of Green Bay is the Green Bay Packers, I think. I've heard that name before, but I have no idea what kind of sport that is associated with. I'm sure to the chagrin of a lot of people watching this. My apologies, comrades. Improve with South Korea and Italy and Japan. It's our time, comrades. This was our day. Good grief. It's rare that three things will work out at the same time. Close all of that. Oh, the UK stock market was closed and Germany. Let's look at our stock market. So, of course, we have another member, but we can't add them until 200 days have elapsed. Everyone else is already looking good here. And we have 3/4 of the world's stock exchange activities happening in the New York Stock Exchange. So, there's no reason to worry there. Next UN members were selected and Brazil. Oh, good grief. Literally, as I say, we have nothing. Oh, no, we don't have anything to worry about. They were not in our stock market. Just see, is anyone new here? Doesn't look like it. It looks like there was a reshuffle of Canada and Italy, but that's it. Gay Pride. Someone applied to organize a gay pride march through town. Now, which town? That's the question. That's the whole thing hinges on. Do we give them the permit? Of course we give them the permit. Yes. Action points and personal control goes down. Unhappiness will increase. So I guess it's a southern town. Anyway, it's legal in the US. Of course we're going to allow it. Burma joined the bloc of China and Kazakhstan left the bloc of China. Don't know why I said Kazakhstan like that. It's Kazakhstan. Stock exchange peace treaty. Okay, so the war between Pakistan and India is over and Azad Kashmir now exists. So what does that mean? What? This is again Trudeau or his successor. Look at this, comrades. They are conspiring against us, but Donald Trump is out now. So let's take a moment. Let's take a breather. And let's refocus our efforts now. This is the post-Donald Trump era. So whoever is the next president, if, of course, Donald gets his second term, whoever that is now has to pick up the pieces. So let's now shift gears a little bit. Of course, we'll keep the things that we were doing. We've managed to catch agents from Canada that were trying to spy on us. And there goes our great relationship with Canada. Someone conducted spread dissent against our country, Canada. Is that you? I guess let's make an investment in them anyway. They are a bloc member. Let's do the same for Israel. So, yes, I'm not sure who is sitting behind all of these spy attacks against us. Promote economic freedom. Should we promote economic freedom in our policy? Yes, I think so. We want interventionism to go down, especially in the US. That's par for the course. So, yes. Unhappiness in Green Bay. I guess the Packers lost again. Whatever they do, I'm going to have to look this up. Is it football or what is it? Probably football. Actually, no, I'll leave the mystery. Someone can tell me in the comments. The war between Venezuela and Suriname. No, Guyana. Good grief, I didn't even see that one. Pirate raid. What? We have found a pirate hive. Oh, that sounds so Pirates of the Caribbean. That helps distribute illegal software over the internet. What should we do? I'm kind of tempted to say do nothing, but no. We of course do the right thing and send in the police. There's unhappiness. The whole country is literally 5% more unhappy just because of that. So I guess somebody was giving out a lot of free software. We didn't get any success with Canada. Let's just try improving that relationship. We can do the same now in the other places. Failure again. Now it's not our day. Still can't do it there. Can we do it in France? Yes, we can. And Italy? Nope. China? Nope. Alright, guess we have to wait a while. Maybe we could try buttering up the Russians since Trump is gone now. Although I'm sure that policy is not going to change if Russia keeps poisoning people in the UK and supporting chemical attacks in Syria, but that's a whole other can of worms. Diplomatic summit crisis. A recent diplomatic summit ended in a serious breakdown between Brazil and Germany, and there is no way we can sit on the fence. Unfortunately, we need both of their support for the attack against Mashriq. However, it's going to be much easier to support Germany. Brazil is lost. It's a lost cause. We'll never get them on our side with that relationship, so support Germany. Thumbs up from everyone, hopefully. 10% unhappiness still in Green Bay. For some reason that place is never happy. Now Green Bay, let's have a look at it again. So this would be Wisconsin, I guess. And what is the other state here? Let's just see. Diplomatic relations success with Canada. Let me just think about this. Minnesota, is that the one here? I think so. And that one is Wisconsin. I hope I'm getting that right. But they are not happy. Failure with France, so they don't like us anymore now. Colony collapse disorder for unknown reasons. Oh, it's the bees. That would be really bad in real life. For unknown reasons, since the beginning of this century, the honeybee population has been rapidly dwindling. I hope we can stop that by 2025. Theories behind this phenomenon includes man's overuse of pesticides, fungicides and diseases that weaken the bee's immune system. We can try to take preventative measures? Wonder which one is right there. By restricting agrochemical use in hope of helping the little ones repopulate. So, I'm not sure still if this means that personal control is going to drop now and militarism is going to drop, or what exactly this means. Yes, I think that is what it means, because if we actually do something, it takes the interventionism up again. But I'm okay with doing that, because we just dropped it anyway a little while ago. Of course, we're going to restrict agrochemical use. Our survival literally depends on it. And the Russians were not convinced by our diplomatic overture. We are still number one. Of course, what were they thinking? Of course, we're still number one. I have a very strong suspicion the next president of the US is probably going to be a Democrat. The reason I'm saying that, this is now me rambling on and on, so forgive me, comrades, but it seems to sway between the one end and the other end of the spectrum either every election or every second term. Obviously, the onus is on the incumbent president to remain in office, so it's most likely that they will do so. But we saw that with, was it Bush Sr.? He was a one-term president, then he was Republican, obviously, then Democrat Clinton for 2 terms, then Republican Bush Jr. for 2 terms, then Democrat president for 2 terms, Obama, of course, and now Republican, but he's a pseudo-Republican, Trump for 1 term. So it's always in the last few decades, it wasn't historically the case, but in the last few decades, it seems that things are very extreme in American politics, and the elections kind of reflect that by having the one side and then the other side rails against it, and then it swings to the other extreme again, and back and forth, back and forth. But now this is just a comment as me as an outsider now. It still seems though that the difference ultimately between a Republican and a Democrat, and I'm not counting Trump here because he's a pseudo-Republican, he's not a traditional Republican, he's a maverick. It seems that their positions on most things, at least where the rest of the world is concerned, remains identical really. There's always the opposition to Iran for historical reasons. There's the support of Israel for historical reasons. There's the mistrust of Russia and China for historical reasons, and so on and so forth. But there's never a real option to vote for somebody who flips the game upside down, who says, no, we're going to support Palestine now. We're going to support Iran, or at least try to build closer relations with them, and we're going to try to get closer with China and all of that. Of course, in those cases, it's difficult because the value system of the US is at odds with the values of China as it stands now, the one-party thing, even though Trump was praising the president of China for his president. Is he the president or the premier? I guess the premier, Xi Jinping, for being the leader for life now. And he said, why don't they have that in the US? I think he said that. And sort of that shows he is a maverick, but it's interesting because I guess there'll never be a close relationship with China and Russia and the US just because of the value system. But there's never an option to try and sort of really support the Palestinians. It's always, and I suppose it's the Israeli lobby in the US that's so strong. Just some observations, I guess. Not judging anything here, I'm just saying it seems that there's no real choice between the Republicans and the Democrats, most of the time anyway, but it still swings back and forth the whole time. Embassies, we finally have learned how to open an embassy after Donald Trump left. Exchange of experiences with Canada. We've received an invitation to join a debate panel on our stock exchange experiences. This could be very good for both sides. Of course we're going to do that. Competitiveness goes up, so profits will go up in the stock market, and our earnings, or we don't have time for this. Position. Look, competitiveness is going to improve earnings anyway, but I think 20% earnings from everyone is even better. Cost the same. Let's take the money. Now, let's improve international actions, or first do the ad hoc diplomatic offensive. I'm not so concerned about the warmonger now, but I am concerned about the +7 relations with the rest of the world. So we'll do that. Ignore the costs here. Bar none. The Olympic Games, of course we're going to host it in the US. What are you talking about? So where would it be? It was in Atlanta last, right? I think so, 92 if I'm remembering right. I still have a mug somewhere with a logo on it. Anyway, let's pick another member for our stock market. Maybe Japan? They seem to be between stock markets at the moment, and of course we'll do that. So the, what's the stock market called? The Nikkei? I'm not sure, I'm not too clued up about the financial markets and so on, but it went through a rough patch, so now they're moving all their companies over to the New York Stock Exchange. Diplomatic offensive is online. Now let's see, is there anything else we can do here? Let's go back to international actions. That's another +5. This one costs a lot, but that's a one-time cost, I think. This is not a recurring cost, if I'm reading that right. So we still have a few years, about 7 years. Let me have some tea. Some chamomile and rooibos tea. So comrades, your comments about the whole US politics thing, that's going to open up a whole can of worms, but I'm definitely interested to hear your opinions about that. Especially this whole thing about what you think is going to happen after Trump. So whatever you think of Trump doesn't matter. What happens after him? Because it tends to be, for the last few years, as I said, Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. So do you think it's going to be a Democrat next time? I'm not sure who that would be though. What's this? What does Gabon want from us? We would like to enter your market with higher power than ever before. Unfortunately, your current tariffs prevent that. Would you mind reducing them? We'll get a slight drop in GDP growth for 300 days. I'm tempted to do it, but we don't need Gabon's support here. I guess this is the purview of being a superpower. You don't need the little guy's help, but it would be the good thing to do, but I don't think so. Our GDP is more important. Sorry. Let's see. There's something. It's the same story. No, it's a different story. Hungary. We want to introduce higher tariffs. It's a tariff war, comrades, on imported goods from your country. Hope you don't mind. Sorry, that doesn't work for us. So we insult them a little bit there. But I guess they do it anyway. We don't need them now. Not for the UN vote. Of course, no judgment on Hungary in the real world. Green Bay is still unhappy. Can we do anything for the people of Green Bay? 10,000. Ooh, we can almost afford that. Let's bring them some happiness here. What about a tourist infrastructure? Let's wait till we have the money first. Let's help them. What else is going on the map? Turkish choice. What do you know about that? Isn't that familiar, comrades? Turkey is at a crossroads. It seems like half of the country would like to continue its pro-Western policy, and of course the other half wants to go to the old Ottoman Muslim sentiment, Islamic leader. We never really succeeded on doing that. I should have chosen the Western one in our campaign. Ah well, I wonder what they'll decide in this campaign. Or playthrough. This is not really a full campaign. Uh-oh, forgot about the Olympics. It's easy to forget that. Actually, should we call another vote on this matter? I'm wondering, let's try one more time. Why can't I do that? Okay, start a diplomatic mission. Yes. Strange. I guess because it was paused. Let's just see if we can do that with the others as well. As many as possible. We'll just send trade missions and diplomatic missions to everyone, friend or foe alike. I don't care. Let's bamboozle them with good wishes and much love from the USA. Nope, can't yet. Of course, if somebody comes to you praising you like this, you know they usually want something. So, of course, that's the case for us. Improve your GDP. So we have grown from strength to strength, comrades. We'll get a new task now. Improved with Germany. And, oh, there's another war in South America. Let's just see. Improve with Russia. Good times, I guess. Pause again. What's happening? Separatism in Puerto Rico again. I'll pay. There's no way, of course, in this old version of the game to permanently calm that down. I wonder if they would be in the new version. I mean, for Puerto Rico. We can't release them as their own nation. I wonder, would we even do that? I want them as the 51st state, probably. Of course, that's a whole other can of worms, because they have to overcome some of the economic difficulties, but that requires even closer integration with the US, I would think. Well. Let's see. What do you think, comrades? Will the Puerto Ricans ever be welcomed into the Union as the 51st state? I hope so. I mean, Puerto Ricans are already so well integrated into the American society, and they've done so many great things. They are citizens, so of course they should eventually. Earlier rather than later, I would say. Brazil at war with Uruguay. Then it also becomes impossible for presidents who shall remain nameless to not give as much support to them as they did to certain other states after natural disasters. At least that's what it looks like to an outsider. Okay, the UK likes us, and the Olympic Committee is standing hat in hand again. Alright, let's call another vote. What's our new task? Either religious order, army, state, or financial sector. It's going to have to be financial sector, but I doubt we'll get to that. We really need to move on this Mashriq situation. UN, we would like to call a vote, please. I want your attack approval on the wonderfully bad state of Mashriq. Thank you. Literally everyone is opposed to it. Let's call them. Only a few were convinced, but let's hope. Okay, Germany is on our side. Brazil, please. Things are really bad here. I don't know how we're going to deal with this situation. We might fail this campaign. Let's be honest here. Let me have some tea. We might fail this campaign. This is very hard to convince countries to actually come over to our side. You see, they want to keep the status quo. They're not interested in attacking countries. Unless it's like Brazil now with their own wars. We have the agricultural protectionism and we have the mission. So let's see what happens next. First of all, I need to get this spy thing in place, because is this going to help though? No. This is not really for defending us. That's for helping us to attack others. Let's try. That's still +3 with the whole world. So stock income and better relations. Let's do that. Please, 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 UN. Come on. 26 days till I can call for another vote. It's interesting. Very reluctant to help us here, but we can't proceed unilaterally, unlike in the real world, of course. Israel wants money. I think, yes, GDP growth is not looking good there. Of course, we'll have to sacrifice our own human development index, which I am not willing to do. There's a riot in Pakistan, which I am going to avoid as much as I possibly can. So come on, one day and we spend money. Uh-oh. Almost clicked the wrong thing here. Bomb threat. We've received a demand from a terrorist group. They're threatening to detonate explosives planted in the center of one of our cities unless we pay them. We have no choice but to agree. Never, never, comrades, we never support terrorism. We'll track them down, send in the special forces. If it still blows up, it's not on us, because we didn't do the attack, hopefully. They did the attack, and we tried to stop them. Okay, lobby, lobby, lobby. Ooh, we're almost there. Okay, there's hope, comrades. We'll find out if the bomb exploded soon. Guyana wants help with rebuilding from the Venezuelan war, and it just costs money. We can do that. Why not? Do something good again. And my alarm is going berserk, but let's just see. I want to get this vote through the UN. We still have 102 days left, and that means we can do the lobbying one more time, I think. Maybe twice if it works out. I'm not sure though. So Japan, France and India. Let's see. We only probably need one more country. So let's see if we can get one more. What about Japan? Yoo-hoo! Let's forget about 1945. India. Can't help them. Could help them, but again, don't want to do that. Let's see, is there anyone else? Don't think we can reach out yet. Failed! Oh! They did defuse the bombs, the terrorists escaped, and many civilians were critically injured in the process. Now, I'm okay with losing this score and getting this unhappiness. We did what we could. We can't give in to that kind of madness. Never. So, it's bad, but it could have been worse. Okay, India worked out. There's a new task, a better way of life. Improve the Human Development Index. We need to do that, honestly. Just hold on. Okay, we're still busy with Japan. This is the main focus now. I'm not so concerned with everything else. We need that attack approval now. Come on, who else can I... who else's arm can I twist here? Brazil is probably not gonna wanna hear it. They're busy whipping Uruguay's backside. Definitely not gonna help that. Who else was there? Brazil, France, can't yet. Russia, China. Let's forget our differences. Nope, not interested. Hopefully the lobbying will push one more of them over the edge. It costs a lot of money, but sometimes you have to give a little money under the table, you know. Improve relations with Japan, so that's another boon. Hopefully that will be enough now in a month. This is exciting. This is the first real prospect of getting what we want from the UN. And China is at war with India. Horrific, but our main focus must be to complete this mission successfully. I wonder what about? Why are they fighting? Is it Aksai Chin or Arunachal Pradesh? One of those disputed territories probably. 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, and please, okay? Oh, is that enough? No, you're kidding me. 58 out of 60%. Are you joking? We have a majority here. No, we're gonna fail because of this. 66 days till the next lobbying can happen. And in a month this is over. That's not fair. You see, the UN hates the US. Oh man. Okay, well, we got closer than we ever got before. That's one thing. Let's just see what Egypt wants here in the background. Student exchange, sure. Come on. I don't think they'll change their mind without the lobbying thing happening. So, that's that. Will not be introduced. That is absolutely outrageous, comrades. But let's pause right there. maybe we can do it again. We'll keep up the diplomatic offensive now. That's the only focus we should have in the next 9 years or so. And getting rid of Mashriq. We'll worry about what to do with them once we actually get the approval. But this is crazy. And we didn't pay enough for the Olympics, I imagine. How much have we paid? 15%. Maybe we'll get it. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's it for this episode, comrades. Have a fantastic day, and thank you as always for your continued patience with this series. I'm thinking about what to do with the whole Turkish thing. I'm torn about it, comrades. I'm really torn about it because I have some ideas for a new series in the new version of the game. But I think I want to do 1 or 2 more episodes with Turkey, just to get us to a point where we are at peace and at least back to number 1. Then I'll leave it there, I think. Maybe. This series is not far from completion anyway, so then we can switch over to the new version of the game. But still, let me know what you think about that and all the other things. Have a fantastic day, comrades.